My name is Jane Califf, and I'm not from Linden. I'm from Bloomfield, and I am very concerned with civic issues. I am on the Bloomfield Recycling Committee, and on our recycling committee, we hear about things happening in other towns, such as, the coal plant. So I would like to say a little something about that. But first, I'd like to say how glad I was to compliment your town. And Mr. Cozio was talking about solar panels on transmission lines to create energy here in Bloomfield. On PSEG-owned poles. I mean, I suppose that would create some jobs for people in Linden, would it?
I'm sure it would create jobs, but I'm not sure about people in Linden. I'm sure it's going to have to be bid out to contractors. Okay. Well, I would hope that it would give you jobs, because those are the kind of clean energy productions that people all over in my town and in New Jersey need. And we don't have anything like that. So when I go back to my town, I'm going to tell them what you have, because we don't have that. I was also impressed to hear about a solar farm that you may have, which would be wonderful to go on the PurGen site, because many of us are concerned about climate change and the dangers of climate change, and you could be really in the vanguard. You already are with your the PSEG solar panels, and capturing that methane is a great idea, because that's a very toxic greenhouse gas, and to turn it into energy would be something really good. So I'll convey that back to my town. I would like to say that a previous speaker mentioned that National Geographic had an article in January issue about criticizing the kind of plant that PurGen would be, which is burying carbon in the ocean or underneath the ground. And one of the things that she said was that there's evidence that if you drill, you could sort of set off an earthquake, and depending on the kind of rock that's there. But it's also true that New Jersey has a history of some earthquakes now and then. For example, there was one off of Asbury Park that was 5.5. There was one in the Highlands that was 2.5. In the past at some point. And I don't know how much you need to shake the earth to make a pipe break, or to, shake the earth so that the carbon dioxide, which is very heavy, when it's so pressurized the way it is in these pipes, and turn it into a liquid, and would leak out and kill a lot of people and a lot of animals and fish. So I think that would be a really good article for the people on the committee, your 3 people on the committee, or your whole panel, your whole council to read. Because National Geographic has a very good reputation. And I also am surprised that I'm just going to say a few words about the other article that somebody mentioned, which was the one by the American Medical Association, which is a very well-known conservative health practitioner organization with doctors and other medical personnel. And I was just wondering if anyone on the council actually had the chance to read that. It's a short summary of a report you can get. I could get it for the 3 members, because I did get it online. If you'd like to read it, I could make it available to you. Would anybody want to get that?
You can send it to me.
I'll send it to you, and you can forward it to them. Okay, because these are doctors that are very worried about a plant like this. They think there's a lot of health issues that have been mentioned before, and they think that these plants will cost the taxpayers across the country, because the plan is to have thousands of these, not just one in Linden. You would be the first one, the biggest one that the world has ever seen, because they're just like 20 megawatts, or maybe 30, but not 750 megawatts. That's just they say that it's a demonstration project with no regulations. There are no regulations in this country for plants like this, so they could just do whatever they want if we're not careful. And the American Medical Association said there should be hearings in this country about this type of plant, how feasible they are, how much they would cost the American taxpayers, people of New Jersey in our case, and the safety of such plants. So I would be glad to send that to you. And my last point is I did read in the Star Ledger that you do want to have an expert speak to you on the safety of a PurGen plant, but you're asking PurGen to supply the scientists. And I'm wondering, are you really going to do that? I mean, I read that maybe, the newspaper doesn't always tell it what is happening. They could distort. I know that from experience. But are you going to get an independent scientist or ask PurGen to give you one or the SCS Energy to give you one? There's a December 23rd article in the Star Ledger said that you were depending on SCS Energy to give you a scientist.
Well, one of the reasons that I wrote a letter to this council several months ago was that we didn't have anybody to watch a project like this. Thank you. I did it myself. Unless we had time in the night. One of the reasons I wrote the letter was simply because of quality of life. Number one, that's an issue for the citizens of the city here, and I wanted to have someone watch over the PurGen project if it went through, and it would be a person of our choosing, paid for by PurGen, but our choosing, and he would report to us.
Okay.
That was one of the reasons that article was a little this way.
Okay. Thank you.
Just wanted to straighten it out.
Thank you.